Hi everyone. I realized that in my last video about the Tarteist Pro Palette, I didn't exactly review it. I kind of applied it, swatched it, but didn't really talk about my feelings about this palette. So I thought this would be, it would be a good idea to kind of do an actual review, compare this palette to the other palettes I have, and let you guys know what I think. So let's get started. I have collected quite a few palettes over the last few months, and we are going to see if I could have just been okay with these, or did I actually need this? So let's compare and let's get going. I thought we could go kind of shade by shade and put similar shades together and then see if I can find dupes or comparables in my other palettes. Classic, vintage, I needed to apply a little bit more of vintage too. It does kick off quite a bit of powder too, but it's easy to clean up. The only other matte, cream or white shades I could find were in my Carly Bybel and MAC Studio palette. The MAC Studio palette seemed to have the color, but it was kind of just going off in dust. This had a very slight greenish shade from the MAC's palette, but I decided to use it anyway, and again it was just going off in dust and not really applying. Chic. There's some powder kickoff. Innocent. This doesn't show up on my skin much, but on my eyelid it gives me this youthful pinkish tone. I really like it. Bold. Again, similar to Innocent, I really like how it looks on my eye. Only other skin tone like pinkish color was in my MAC Studio palette. Indie, Fierce, and Profesh. Kind of this coolish, brownish skin tones. Indie, Profesh, Fierce, and the comparables were Carly Bybel palette, couldn't see it, but yes, it was there. MAC Studio palette, WetnWild palette, now we're getting into the fun colors. Mod, No Filter, and Drama, the reddish hues. No Filter. This one I had to pick up twice for it to go on evenly. Drama. I was expecting a lot of dupes for these from my NYX palette. This wasn't going on as smoothly as Maud did, and it was a little bit brighter, more on the pinker side. Both the shades to my bhCosmetics palettes had a shimmer to them. I had a higher expectation from the burgundy shade in my Codley palette, but that didn't perform as well either. Now the hues of brown, whimsy, edgy, and smoked. From my NYX palette. From the MAC Studio palette. This kicked off so much powder when I kinda tried to dig in to get the color. The color payoff from the MAC Studio palette throughout has been very moderate. From the WetnWild palette. The WetnWild was giving me quite a lot of dust, but the color payoff wasn't bad. Codley palette. Vamp is this dark purpley shade. This wasn't applying as smoothly for me. Purple, I couldn't really find, even this was, I couldn't tell if this was brown or purple, but this was the only comparable shade. It's just as patchy. Punk. This is beautiful matte black that you can build up really nicely. It applies very well this way too. WetnWild. This was just as good. Black from MAC Studio, so I didn't have much luck with. Finally, black from my bhCosmetics palette. It looked more like a dark gray and had kind of payoff similar to the MAC palette. Ethereal, Glam, Minx, and Trendy. Ethereal, Glam, Minx, Trendy. WetnWild color icon. W7. These weren't showing up even after significantly wetting my brush and doing multiple applications. This is a beautiful color. The WetnWild Studio palette. Maybelline palette. Finally, my Carly palette. This was the closest match. As you can see, the shimmers were easy to find comparables for. All in all, I think this is a very, very good palette. Like, I would highly, highly recommend it. And the beauty of this palette, as I said earlier, is in all the mattes. Like, you can't be without them. Or rather, it just gives you everything that you need. And then it also gives you the shimmers, then you can just add another little, like that WetnWild palette that I just showed you. Like, you just add that as an add-on, but this has all the basics that you need. If you were like me and thinking that maybe I can just get a $2 palette and make it work and learn from that, it doesn't work that way. Because now you're looking at these videos and they're saying, oh, blend, blend, and you're blending as I was doing before, and it's not working out because the shadows are not good. This one, I think, even though it's $53, I think I spent way more than that on these other palettes. I don't regret buying them because I like colors, but I spent like way more than that on the other palettes. So I think it's a good idea and I would highly recommend it. And if you like this video, please hit like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.